Hello and thank you for joining us on the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Binga Oreshegun. Today on the program, Reno Mokiri says he has long apologized to President Tinubu, dismisses Showare's reference as childish and backs electronic transmission of results. Dave Umahi vows to resign as Works Minister if Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Road project fails quality tests. And later on the show, troops neutralize scores of terrorists, rescue kidnapped victims, and disrupt ISWAP logistics network in Borno State. Well, I'll be hanging out with Tony Waje and Babajide Kolade Otitoju BKO, who joins us from Abuja studios. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now we begin with sad news as Nigeria has lost one of its brightest literary minds, Emeritus Professor Biodun Jeyifo, an 80-year-old post-colonial scholar whose work shaped African intellectual discourse, died on February 11, 2026. The Nigerian Academy of Letters, NAL, announced this yesterday. The NAL President, Professor Andrew Haruna, shared the sad news in a statement mourning the end of an era in literary scholarship. Jeyifo built a stellar career starting at the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, where he emerged as a leading voice in Nigerian academia. He later held prestigious dual appointments at Cornell and Harvard universities in the United States, renowned for one of Africa's most influential thinkers in post-colonial studies. His death has drawn tribute from across Nigeria's literary circles, underscoring his enduring legacy as a bridge between local academia and global scholarship. I mean, really sad one. But BK, I'm going to start with you. How will you describe, the life, the work, and legacy of Professor Biodun Jeyifo? Very rich Yoruba name.
Yes, as a young man, I was happy to read about the great literary giants, African literary giants like Sembene Usman, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Chikaya Utamsi, Wole Soyinka. Biodun Jeyifo was a great literary critic and was also a fantastic public speaker. Back in those days, as students, we used to enjoy inviting them for symposium and all that because they were excellent speakers who spoke with so much force and eloquence. And I always told some of my friends that this is the closest person that I've seen to Soyinka in terms of his mastery of the English language. But I wasn't fortunate to be one of his students. But some of my bosses, the people who brought me up as a journalist, Dapo Olonyomi, Kunle Ajibade, these were people whom he trained. And look at the way Kunle Ajibade, a man himself who is a fantastic literary mind, who used to proofread Soyinka's works. He was my boss at the news magazine, and he described Jeyifo as a teacher of formidable intellectual ability. He was, to the best of my knowledge, the most erudite, brilliant, and sincere of the literary theorists on the left in Africa at that time. And so Ajibade was himself a great literary critic. So if he has generous praise for you, it must be because you are very good. He was the first ASU president. He was ASU president between 1980 and 1982. And something I read about him was really an eye-opener for me, that at Ibadan Boys High School at the age of 18, he led a protest that crippled the institution, and eventually got expelled by the principal of the school, who was the organist at the church that the Jeyifo family attended. So he was expelled, and he had to write his school certificate and A-level examination as an external candidate. And he passed in flying colors. He didn't stop there. He got admitted to the University of Ibadan, where he scored a first class, the third person to score a first class in English language in that university, Nigeria's premier university. So this man was celebrated generously by his students and other literary stakeholders. Some weeks back, we didn't know that it was a send forth that Kunle Ajibade and others were doing for him. May his great soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen. Amen. I mean, this kind of soul, they come just once in a lifetime. Now, for someone like this, Professor Biodun Jeyifo, what do you think he will be remembered for?
I got to know him through his column on in the Nation newspaper. And then secondly, what got me more interested is the fact that he graduated from University of Ibadan.
Oh, okay.
And an alumni of UIT, which I...
Oh, you're also?
UIT, greatest UIT. So he has done his best. He came to this world, contributed his quota, a literary icon, He did his best within the field he found himself. Whatever you do in this world, because we are not here to stay forever.
Sure.
Make a mark, so that by the time the bell tolls, you will only be happy, without no regret. He did so much, an erudite professor, academic scholar, an icon in the literary world. And if he didn't do well, we won't be talking about him today.
Exactly.
My takeaway, what I look at when I read, when I hear witness deaths like this of great people, is what do I stand to take? What do I take away from their life and time? He has done his best. He graduated. He went to UI. He schooled there. He was a professor of English. He came out of first class, and then a literary giant. He exited the stage when the ovation was loud. No negativity about him. So that is what I think people should emulate. That's what I want to take away something from him. That you're leaving the world tomorrow. What are you going to leave? What will people remember you? I read. In fact, was most of his articles that actually draw my attention to it. I won't say if not for that, it will barely be noticed. But which means something he contributed. He contributed. He contributed. I think Professor Wole Soyinka recognized him. I think they had. I was supposed to attend that event at Muson Center. He did his best for the nation. I think I just.
And that's what matters most.
Yes.
That's what matters. All right, gentlemen.